Okay guys, welcome back to the Novice Lumberjack, where I am still working on my Poland Pro 330 slash Poland 3450 that I am turning into a custom Binford Bad Boy chainsaw. So, tool time, Tim Allen. Right? And right now I'm prepping for paint. So I got everything cleaned up massively, and all I got to do is scuff it all with the Scotch-Brite pad, and then I have two different primers. They're both Sim, and they're both high quality stuff that you can only buy in an automotive paint store. I don't know. Actually, I think they sell them at Summit as well. They might sell them other places. Whatever. It's good. Good stuff. Point is I've got two different kinds. This one right here is typical self-etching primer that will be used on the actual cases. The cases are metal, and the cases already have, it's probably a single stage urethane paint. Is that right? I don't know. Whatever goes on cars. Whatever goes on cars is quite resistant to gasoline, and that's probably what they use on the cases. But this self-etching primer will etch to the paint that's already there. This self-etching primer actually is a high build surfacer, and it is intended for use whenever applying to plastics. I mean, it'll work on other stuff too, but this works really well. It's slightly flexible. And the deal with primers is, a lot of people don't understand this with paint, because the only thing you've ever done is regular spray bomb type paint. And, you know, that's like 99% of the earth, the people that occupy it. Very few people actually put their hands on high quality paint. So, primer, right, is, you can get certain kinds like these that are designed to stick to the material. But usually what you actually have whenever you're painting a car is you have the sealer. The sealer goes on first, and it seals up your metal. It is the self-etching, and it'll dig into the metal and really grip onto the metal. Then the primer gets sprayed onto that, and the primer grips into the sealer. And then the paint grips into the primer. And then the clear coat grips into the paint. So it's a layer by layer process, and the whole point of primer really is to cover up and make everything a uniform color. That way, because like if you're using a color that is very light and it doesn't cover up easily, it doesn't cover up stuff underneath it easily. If everything's a uniform color, then the same coat that you put on is going to balance out. So like if you were painting a car and you had a red fender and a black door, and then you painted them both with white, well, you're going to end up with slight pink and then, like, I don't know, gray. Right? Until you put layer after layer after layer after layer of the white until it is thick enough to cover everything up. Well, the primer covers everything up, gives you a nice uniform color, and then you hit it with the real paint. So, anyways, on to the chainsaw. Those are a little bit of painting techniques, but you're here for a chainsaw, right? So this is the plastic cover that this is going to get painted sublime. Both of my paints that I'm using are MOPAR colors, because I'm a fan of the Chryslers. So it's getting a sublime green, which is extremely similar to the green that Poland uses. It's a tiny bit darker, but I don't think that you're going to be able to see the difference. So anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit about these plastics, right? These plastics are far superior to the plastics in with steel chainsaws or Husqvarna chainsaws. This top cover right here it's excellent. I don't know what to say without sounding like a goofball, but yeah, these are the best chainsaw plastics I have ever put my hands on. Great. So the old Poland, I don't know if the new ones are the same way or not. I don't know. But the old one here, dang, it's high quality. And, you know, the whole chainsaw, you know, from my very first use of it, I've been impressed with it. I've been going, dang, that's a Poland? You know, it's a good chainsaw. So that's why I'm going the extra mile. And I'm creating a custom one. So, anyways, that's what's up. This is me scuffing it. And then here shortly, I'll put down the primer and then move on to the color. You'll see that. So you see how I got this all hanging? It's all taped up real good. Anything that I don't want any paint on, of course, obviously. But typically, whenever you've got to do something like this where you paint all sides, you hang it. Everybody does, right? And then whenever you're spray painting it, it keeps wanting to twist on you, twirl up and stuff. You're like, dang, this sucks. Stay still, stay still. But you can't get it to stay still for the life of you. Well, that's why you anchor it to something else. See? I'm teaching you something. Now, the first coat, you want it just to be a tack coat. Everybody gets caught up in wanting it to be completely covering whatever color it is that you're doing, that you're covering up. In this case, the mustard yellow. All right, hey, it's tool time. Funny, right? Ha. Tim, you would love the chainsaw that I am building. Anyways, everybody wants to get a full thick coat on there to cover all of the color that you're covering up. In this case, mustard yellow, right? But don't do that. Just get good, even coverage. Allow it to get tacky, and then go back and put another coat. Now, I say all this, but in reality, right now I'm doing primer. Doesn't matter all that much. You still want to do it, but where it really matters is on your base coat, but especially your clear coat. When you add your clear coat, you got to do a tack coat. You know, just a little coat to get it sticky before you start putting the real coats on there. That way it reduces the chances of it running. Anyways, next up, these. And we switch primer to a primer that is made to adhere to plastic. All right. All right, we are all primered up. It's looking sharp. We're good. And I'll let this dry overnight. It takes an hour of real dry time before it's ready for your color to go on there. But I'm going to let it sit overnight because it's getting late. I'll have to make sure whenever I paint this the plum crazy, I do a better job getting inside there and stuff. So, but it's got enough primer on it, it'll stick. All right, that's all for tonight. All right, so I have just laid down the clear. Now this video is a dual purpose. This is for the group Chainsaw Repair on Facebook. to get some input on the naming convention of this saw. This is a Poland Pro 330 that I am turning into my custom sort of a Tim Allen Bad Boy saw, sort of. What I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out the name. All right, so these colors for the chainsaw group. If you're watching this on YouTube, you already know. But this is MOPAR Plum Crazy Purple and MOPAR Sublime Green. So I like MOPARs. Anyways, the dealio is this is not a real Tim Allen Bad Boy. This is my version, right? And I'm going to call this a Binford saw. If you're unfamiliar with the TV show Home Improvement, then you are going to be lost completely. So, but anyways, the line of tools that Tim used on the show was Binford tools. So this is going to be the Binford chainsaw. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is the actual naming convention. Should I call it a Binford Bad Boy? Right? Which that would be fine. That's what I've been calling it. And, it's like, oh, I'm building the bad boy and stuff like that. And maybe that'll be good. But I kind of like going with calling it a Binford 6000R. Poland, I still want to give a nod to Poland. And Poland was big on their naming convention with cubic inches. And like this saw, I got a 60cc cylinder for it, by the way, for you guys that know that the 330 was only 54 cc's. Well, I'm properly taking this up to the 60cc range. And so that would be a 3.7 if it was a Craftsman saw, or a 3700 if it was a Poland saw, or a 3750 is what they called it. But I'm thinking of going 6000 because on the show he does bring in a chainsaw. The chainsaw that he's using is a Husqvarna, and he called it, I believe he called it it was like a Binford 8000 something. Maybe I need to look into that, what he actually called that one. But that's, help me out, guys. And, if you tell me I'm an idiot, I don't care. What people say online does not hurt my feelings. A bunch of keyboard, what do they call it? Keyboard commandos. You guys are all talk. But anyways, this is my garage. And if you're wondering about the plastics, you're going, oh, you can't spray paint plastics. Well, there's a lot of plastic bits on a car. It's a matter of prepping it properly, using the proper products that will adhere to plastic, as well as finally not picking plastics that are ultra flexible. These right here are hard as nails. This Poland has the best chainsaw plastics I have ever seen. This is, honestly, I am over and over again super surprised by the build quality of this saw. The ports, my God, look at those ports. The way that they aim back towards the intake. People try and do that all the time and fail. Some people succeed. Try and do it whenever they're custom porting a chainsaw. This thing is custom ported from the factory. Freaking awesome. Anyways, that's enough of this video. Hopefully you guys can give me some input. Again, what should I name it? It's definitely going to be the Binford. I'm not going to call it a Poland at all. Not at all. And this saw's for me. So guys, I get that there's a lot of boring people out there. There's a lot of you. I am not one of those boring people. Okay? So don't go, well, you should have never done it. I guess if you want to say that, go ahead. Anyways, this is all.